the big news over the last 2-3 weeks, obviously, is Russia coming out and saying that they're going to sell their gas for only rubles or gold. They will not accept dollars. They won't accept euros. And I mean, I equate this as the biggest news since 1973 when Kissinger came up with the idea of the petrodollar. In other words, the Saudis and the rest of the Arabs would only accept dollars for their oil. And that created an unofficial support to the dollar, but it became official over the years because only dollars were accepted for the oil trade. Now, Russia is saying that they will only accept rubles. If you want their gas, you have to pay in rubles. And I'm sure that's going to expand to the rest of their commodity base, gas, wheat, oil, you name it. What they're doing is they were threatened to be kicked out of the SWIFT system, and then they were actually kicked out of the SWIFT system, and they've had a good deal of their reserves frozen. And you could replace the word frozen with stolen if you want. They also came out and they said that they were going to bid 5,000 rubles per gram. And when they came out with that, this was probably 2.5, 3 weeks, about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago. When they came out with that bid, the ruble had been crushed after the beginning of the operation. It went from about 80 rubles to the dollar to 140. And when they came out with that 1,000 rubles per gram, the math worked out to 1,450 US dollars per ounce. As of now, the ruble has strengthened almost every single day for the last couple of weeks. That bid now would be well over $2,000. It'd be $2,050, $2,100 in that neighborhood. However, yesterday they canceled. I shouldn't say they canceled. What they did is they said they're not going to do a fixed bid, but they will negotiate bids in rubles. They will pay for gold in rubles. So part of the story was they're going to be a seller of gold because they need capital, but that's not the case. They are a buyer of gold. So I'm viewing it as throwing a monkey wrench in the globalist plans for the Western reset, if you will. This is Putin saying he's not going along with it. The world that you've lived in your entire life has been with the dollar as the reserve currency. And it's interesting, the day that Russia came out and said that they would only accept rubles, that very same day, Jay Powell made the comment that he thought there could be more than one reserve currency. And when I heard that news, I'm like, that's insane that the chairman of the Federal Reserve would come out and say there could be something that competes with the dollar. So, like I said, I mean, that news, the news is huge. And if you look back at what's happened in the past, Muammar Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, they both talked about a gold-backed dinar. And look what happened to them. They were killed, their countries, upended, and their gold stolen. But that's not going to happen with Putin. I mean, there's no way we're going into Moscow and stealing their gold. And there's no way we're going to depose Putin. Well, logically, I mean, what has happened is the dollar is no longer the one and only undisputed reserve currency. So we will see some type of monetary upheaval, I suspect, in the not too distant future, probably within the next 3 to 6 months. There's going to be some type of currency upheaval. And I mean, the plans. They've already told you the plans are to go toward central bank digital currency. And the problem with that, and people need to understand how dangerous that is. Just look at what happened in Canada. If you sent $10 to support the truckers, you had your bank account frozen. And they actually had to manually do that. But under a central bank digital currency, if you say something wrong, who knows, if you go to the wrong websites, if you read the wrong information, they can just shut you off. It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire. If all your capital's in the system, they can basically just cancel you. And I think that is where that's where the plan to go for the West is. It gives total control. Well, you're right. It's like we're shooting ourselves in the foot. Inflation's already raging, and what they've come out and said is, well, no, money printing doesn't cause inflation and deficit spending doesn't cause inflation, but it absolutely does. I mean, they're lying straight to your face. The dollar is not on the USDX. The USDX is comparing itself to euros, yen, other fiat currencies. But if you look at real goods, just look at the cost of real goods, that shows you that the dollar is being
Before we
debased.
continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
I have bad news for you. If you're not rich by now, you're screwed. And if you're in debt, you're even double screwed. How so, you might wonder? Well, the sad truth is that you're working your whole life to make someone else rich. The mega corporations, the banks, the politicians, everyone is getting richer. They get your money. And what is even worse, they get your time, they get your life. You are not even in a rat race, you're in a financial prison. But what could a solution for you look like? Honestly, I don't know, but I know what a solution for me would look like. It's very simple. I use whatever money I have and I multiply it with 1,000. This could make my life much easier and probably yours as well. If you have $1,000 available and multiply this with 1,000, I believe that this could solve some financial issue for the one or the other. Of course, if you're ugly, you would have to multiply it with much more than 1,000. My name is Marco Stan, and this is what I decided to do. I decided to 1000x my money. This is not a joke. I know what you may be thinking. What is this guy talking about? How should this work? This is not possible. Well, I made a detailed video where I laid out my plan. And some clever folks might even want to look at this plan and copy it and do exactly what I do. This is just a little hint on the side. You have two options. You leave, you forget what you have seen. You do whatever you're doing and you hope that somehow you get some other results. Good luck with that. Or you click the link below the video. You enter your email address because I'm not showing this to everybody. You at least watch my video on how I plan to 1000x my money. The choice is yours. Make the right choice. Join me. See what a different future you could have. See at least how I intend, how I plan to do the 1000x. So click on the link below, enter your email address, and I see you on the other side. Your Marco Stan.